Hello YouTube, this is TheStabbyBrit. I thought I would come into my power armor vault to have a quick chat with you about the history of power armor. And to rant a little bit about this and this. So, let's go over the official lore, and then we'll kind of touch up a few things around the edges. So, our history of power armor begins here. This is the T-45D. This is the first power armor that was used by the US military in the Fallout universe, and those of you who played Fallout 3 will be familiar with this, as this is the Brotherhood power armor that you'll have encountered. This wasn't the best power armor. It's got some vulnerability points. You can see the stomach isn't really very armoured. The construction was a bit lacking. It's basically riveted and welded together rather than being chemically bonded like this bad boy was. For a 40k analogy, why not? This sort of thing is like the Crusade armor. You know, this is the Mark II. This is where it all began. Or maybe it's like the Mark V in terms of its shoddy production. Anyway, this was used to try and defend Alaska when the communists invaded, and it held the line. It couldn't repel the invasion, but it bought the United States time to up the ante and develop this bad boy. This is the T-51. Bow to the sacredness that is Fallout 1 and 2 power armor. Yeah. This is the only power armor Fallout fans are allowed to like, according to No Mutants Allowed. And it is the best power armor the United States ever developed. Or, well, we'll get onto that. T-51B is built using a complicated construction process of chemically bonding plates together. It's made of complicated and expensive alloys, and it's badass. Squads of T-51B were first deployed in Alaska, and combined with new and powerful weaponry, they kicked ass. They are essentially, T-51B is something that allows the user to go full-on Space Marine on people. This is the armor that the Brotherhood of Steel favour on the West Coast. And we'll touch on that now, I suppose. The reason T-45 is used on the East Coast is because, from what we can tell, this stuff was basically in storage in DC. There was, according to the Fallout Bible, there was going to be some big display. They were going to have huge stockpiles of power armor to show off the military might of the United States, and obviously they wanted to save the best stuff in case they had to blow up more Chinese communists. And now we get to the T-60. All we know about this is that it was developed after the Battle of Anchorage, and it was used mainly for urban pacification. It was never actually used offensively against the Chinese. Now, the majority of T-60 suits you will find are in possession of the Brotherhood of Steel. We don't actually know where they came from, but we know that there are other powers that have access to them. And that's all I'll say for the purposes of avoiding spoilers. T-60 is superior to T-51B, which raises some red flags for me. I think the issue with this is in its background. There's too many of these things stomping around. I mean, this is the standard armor for the Brotherhood in Fallout 4. I would have liked for T60 armor to have been something exclusive to the Brotherhood, and rather than being the next step in power armor development, I would have liked it to have been a Brotherhood exclusive. It is something that they built. They basically took their T45 stockpile and they upgunned it. I mean, they've had access to plenty of Enclave tech after all. And yes, by the way, you can fit jetpacks onto your power armor. Look, jetpack. I've got this here purely because it looks more like Space Marine armor. I might see if I can fit one on the back of this, actually. Yeah, why not? Let's have a quick look. Jetpack. We can. Not sure I want to, but we can. Cool. Worth knowing. So let's talk about this. This is the XO1. Now, the in-game lore says this was developed post-war by remnants of the US military. Post-war. This was not a pre-war relic. There seems to be a lot of confusion on the forums, presumably from people who came into the series at Fallout 3, or maybe just came into the series on this game, or maybe people who just can't read a loading screen. This stuff is post-war tech, and it's very obviously Enclave advanced power armor. Which is a problem, because I found this suit in a military bunker that had been sealed since the bombs fell. And unless you are trying to tell me that this suit was developed by guys who only had enough food for about a week, and who all basically... well, there was about 2 guys who apparently built this in a week from scratch and built better armor than anything else the entire US military R&D department could do. And just so happens that 3 dozen other groups of people did the exact same thing simultaneously. No. This armor shouldn't exist. It's in the wrong place. It's in the wrong places. And if nothing else, this armor was never used on the East Coast. We never saw this. We saw the Demon-style Enclave Mark II. The Advanced Power Armor Mark II, as the Outcasts refer to it, which suggests it's the Advanced Power Armor Mark II that replaced this. And we don't see the Tesla armor here either. We don't see the Hellfire armor. And also, Mr. Brotherhood, why the hell not? Why aren't you grabbing the superior Enclave armor and using it yourself, you idiots? Breathe. It's fine. Bethesda aren't the greatest writers. We just have to live with this. This is here as a nod to the fans, but I think real die-hard fans would take this as a bit of a smack in the face. I mean, I'm trying to think of a... I'm trying to think of an equivalent. I mean, this is akin to, I don't know, let's go 40k. This is probably akin to Games Workshop turning around and saying, oh yeah, actually there were more Primarchs than 20. There were actually 6 per legion, and Lehman Russ has actually been part of the Space Wolves all along, and he's just like every cool character in the Space Wolves. Oh, Logan Grimnar and Ragnar Blackmane, and they're all actually Lehman Russ. That's the extent of the stupidity that including this armor the way they have is. This is the idea that Jar Jar Binks was a Jedi Master. This is just wrong. It shouldn't be here. Final thing. Just one final thing. two final things then. This armour is crap. Never use it. No point. You get better armour within an hour of starting the game. Secondly, the way power armour works. The fact you don't need training. For those who aren't aware, Fallout 1 and 2, you never needed training to use power armour. Power armour training was probably included because Bethesda didn't want you to be able to use power armour within like an hour of starting the main quest of Fallout 3. They want advanced power armour training. Advanced power armour training keeps power armour as an endgame item in Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas. But it was never part of the game series. It was new to 3 and New Vegas. And if you have Operation Anchorage, like I do, you can get an invincible suit of T-51, which is the best armour in the game, without power armour training, just by playing Operation Anchorage straight out of the vault. So, Bethesda gave up on the idea of late-game power armour pretty quickly. Anyway, that's the brief history of the power armour and my brief rant about some of the daftness about power armour in this game. Thank you for watching, and no doubt I will have more Fallout-based rants before long. Maybe I'll do a whole Fallout history thing. See you later.